Hello, I'm Jonny and today I'll be talking about the nitrogen cycle. Now, the nitrogen cycle it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Just keep in mind that all this facts will be very truthful. I know it's unlike me, but it will be all true. So just strap in and enjoy the ride. Now I know this miniature chalkboard I have myself. I just got it yesterday, so we're just still breaking it in. But you never know what can happen with a new chalkboard. Well, everything might be backward for you. I can see perfectly, so I'll just read off the things that it says that you probably won't get. That is atmospheric nitrogen, bacteria, animals, soil, water, and bacteria. And that is thundercloud with lightning and a bunch of arrows. That's soil, whatever. We already went over through that. So, start off with the nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle starts off, as I just said, with atmospheric nitrogen, or N2 gas, nitrogen gas. Now, nitrogen gas found in the atmosphere can be taken by humans and turned into fertilizer, which we have right here. So that really doesn't show that, but that's what it is. That's what the zeros represent. It's turned into fertilizer and then used into growing plants. And that growing plants then can be consumed by consumers, and then that nitrogen will be excreted from the consumers and then can go back into the atmosphere by a place called denitrification, which we'll talk about in just a second. Now, some fertilizer can run off into the water, which also we'll talk about the water cycle. And not the water cycle, but the nitrogen cycle that has to deal with the water and stuff. So yeah, here's what we have. So that was basically human, but here is what we have for biological. This atmospheric nitrogen, or N2 gas, is taken, that seeps into the soil, and bacteria found in the roots of plants can take it and fix onto it, which is nitrogen fixation, which is basically changing the nitrogen, not only changing it, but adjusting it, or converting it to NH3, NO3, or NO2, and NO2. And that can be picked up by primary producers, converted to make their own energy and make their own proteins and new nucleic acid, which then the primary producers are consumed by the consumers, and then when they excrete or die, the decomposers put it back into the soil, and either the primary producers can pick it up again, or the bacteria, it's not picked up by the primary producers, other bacteria can go take that excreted NH3, NO2, and NO3, and they can do a thing called denitrification, which I just talked about before, which is basically taking that NH3, NO3, and NO2 and turn it back into nitrogen gas, but then go back into the atmosphere. So on the picture we have here, this is where that it seeps into the soil. Bacteria obviously latches onto it, creates the NH3, NO2, and NO3, and then that goes in the plants. Here are the animals, which is the primary producers and consumers, and they'll make primary producers convert the NH3 and the NO2 and NO3 into their proteins, and then those animals, the consumer animals or other organisms, will eat the producers, and they will get their energy, and then when they die or excrete, the decomposers will take care of that, and they will turn it back into the NH3, NO3, and NO2. And then right here is when other bacteria latches on and turns it back into nitrogen gas denitrification, and it's all the way back up here. Now, nitrogen fixations, as I was talking about before, can only be formed by bacteria, which is the bacteria over here, and lightning. Strangest thing, it can occur by lightning. So yeah, that's kind of on land. The animal thing obviously can continue for a while. It's everlasting, and this nitrogen cycle is everlasting as well. Now, for the water scene, basically it's the exact same thing. Here we have atmospheric nitrogen going around this way instead, seeps into the water, and bacteria found on algae or other plants underwater can take the nitrogen, convert it to NH3, NO3, NO2, and that can be used by primary producers, converted to the proteins, nucleic acid. They are consumed by consumers, and they excrete or die, and then decomposers take that, and they'll turn it back into NH3, NO3, and NO2, and then once they're done with that, then other bacteria on the algae or whatever, uh, they will do denitrification, and that will go back into the atmosphere. And then fertilizer runoff, same thing happens. Basically, consumers use it, and they excrete, decomposers turn it back into nitrogen gas with denitrification, and end up back in the atmosphere. So that is the nitrogen cycle. Sorry, the picture is kind of blurry, but what are you gonna do? I think I can explain it pretty well. So yeah, thanks for watching.